So hopefully you can see my screen here, and what I've got on there is a map of the UK, of the world, showing a number of numbers. So down here by Australia we've got one because there's one camera there. Over in the US we've got 43 on the west coast there, and that's a majority around the Verkada headquarters. And over here in UK we've got 5, and they're 5 demo cameras that can be accessed in the UK as well from the UK head office in London. So really simple that you can actually connect these cameras anywhere in the world. As long as you've got access to the organisation the cameras are within, you can see them. So let's go over to these here, and as you can see there's a little drop down at the side of it. If I click the drop down, what it will do, it will give us names of the main sites that those cameras are at, but we're going to just click on the number instead. What that will do is zoom us in to that particular area on the map where those cameras are. We'll go then to this 39, which then gives us downtown Oakland, and we can see the Verkada head office, which has got 34, and we've got 5 over here. If we then drill down again into the Verkada head office, we can see all the cameras and we can see colours. So the green ones means that they're functioning correctly, they're sending feedback and everything's working fine. If there was an issue, they'd change colour. So what we can see is blue if they're actually updating, or yellow if they're offline. So quite quickly understand if our cameras are working. And if you look at the way traditional cameras work, that's actually quite unique, because traditional cameras, the only way you know they're not working is by actually looking at the camera. So going to the feed for that camera and see there's no feed coming back from it. So one benefit, you can tell straight away if any of your cameras are off, and also you can set notifications to tell you if a camera goes off for any reason. If we look down here at one of these cameras and I click on it to get a thumbnail view, and so you can see it, you can see that's an outdoor camera outside of the building. And what we can do is we can click on that image and take us to that particular camera. So there we are, looking with a 4K camera at the front of the Verkada head office. We can see someone walking along there with his mask on, just been dropped off by a car. Not going to the Verkada office, he's wandering straight past. But what we can do here is look for a variety of things. So we'll move down a little bit first and show you a couple of things. So at the moment we've got set the video clip of being 24 hours. So if each of these boxes is actually 24 hours. And if you see, if I move through it, I can scrub through that video. And you can also see green boxes appearing and yellow boxes when it sees an item. So if it sees a vehicle, you'll see a yellow box on the vehicle. And if it sees a person, you'll see a green box around that person. And that's the artificial intelligence and machine learning within the cameras identifying an object that it knows it needs to track. So we can see those quite quickly. We can also change the period to a shorter one, say 4 hours. So then we get multitudes of boxes now, little thumbnail boxes, and each one of them is 4 hours worth of cover rather than 24 hours we had before. We can also look at what we call heat maps. So if I click on the heat maps, it'll actually give you a picture over that period of time, so 4 hours, of the points on that image that most movement was. So people moving, vehicles moving, depending on what we've actually got set up, but we can see that quite. So we'll drop back from. Another thing is we might want to look for motion in a particular area. If I move the mouse pointer off the image, we go back to normal. But if I put it on there, we can see like crosshairs come on there. We've got different boxes. So if I draw in that matrix around an area that I want to look for motion, so effectively the entrance to the building, straight away the camera system's actually looking for any time it's seen motion at that point. So we can see different times it's seen motion. If we want to go to one of them, we can click on this one here and we can see that point where there was motion, but it'll actually back it up to before it. And then once it's backed it up, it'll start playing that, and then we'll see the actual activity that caused the motion activity there. Just waiting for it to get to point, and there we can see seconds. We've got just sorting itself out. I did say in the post prior to this, and also the title, we're hoping for some love from the demo gods, because it doesn't always work demos when you're doing them live. But this is what we'd normally do when we get the feed from this point. It's just taking its time to get that feed. I don't know how hang around well. There we. So for some reason it's going back and forth. So what I'll do is I'll move back away. So another thing we can do is we can look for people. So if I click on the people piece here, it'll actually show us every time it's identified a person. You can see different people down there, different times, and we can click on any one of these and go and actually look at that particular clip. But we can also look for particular faces. So we can see faces along here, and if I click on any of those faces, it will actually tell me every time it's seen that particular person and the time and date. See, and we can quite quickly go to that clip. Again, I can't guarantee the clip's going to come up quickly because we had a bit of a challenge a few minutes ago with the previous one. But what would normally happen, it would actually take us to just before it and then play it, so we can see that person we identified coming through the door and walk. So really quick to find a particular person seen in an image. What we can also do, if I get rid of we can also filter by different things. So we can filter by different colors. So we may say, what yellow is not that common a color. So let's look for someone who's wearing on their top yellow. If I apply that, it's going to go off and look for on the upper body anytime it's seen anybody wearing yellow. So we can see someone in a dress. We can see some people wearing high-vis jackets. High-vis quite popular, especially with delivery people. See that, and also construction people. So there's been some construction work done at one there as well. The other thing we can do is we can do things around people. So if I go to vehicles, we can actually see all the vehicles that have gone past that this is seen. And again, we can actually do a variety of things like for vehicles that are red. So it'll look through, find any vehicle it can see that is red. And we can see different types of vehicles. So we can see there's a Mercedes there, but there's also a Tesla. So if we want to look for a particular type of vehicle, we can actually start typing down here. If I type Tesla, apply that, you should see is only red Teslas. See a red Tesla. Again, I can click on the image. It should take me to where that red Tesla comes into view. It's got to line up that particular clip first, then start playing from that point in time, just before the actual vehicle came into. So really simple to find images of people, find images of vehicles, and jump to those. So this is using a standard dome camera. What I'd like to do is show you the footage from a slightly different type of camera. So the new cameras that were brought out by Verkada recently are bullet cams. So if I go to a particular bullet cam, I'll look for the entrance bullet cam first. So let's go to that bullet cam, we'll see a live view from it. And what you should see, it's a very high definition, but also high dynamic range camera as well. So we've seen really good colors on this camera. So really bright where the sunlight's starting, because it started the day out in San Francisco today. So we can see really good colors and really vivid colors. So it makes it easier for us to see things that are happening and look out for things there. We can see the motion as well is really fluid on this camera, and this stream is coming from the other side of the pond, so over in San Francisco, so we can see that stream directly from that camera on the front of the building, so really clear to see there. There's a lot of other things I could show you. I'll jump to a grid view, which gives us the ability to look at particular grids, so we can have all the cameras. We can specify like a comparison between, say, CD and CB cameras and see those. We can have get cameras in particular areas that want to group together into grids. So we can actually view these cameras, and we can also have a slideshow so they move through if we've got multiple pages of them as well. to quite quickly look for particular things we're looking for. So hopefully that gave you a bit of an idea of what Verkada can do, and how easy it is to use. I'm not any whiz at security systems or camera systems, and I find it really easy to go and find footage, look for particular people. We've got two cameras on at the moment. You can see they're synchronized as well, so we can see that car pulling up towards the grid rises, and then they come through. So really easy to have cameras in sync as well. But also when you're looking for footage and you want to synchronize footage historically, you can just add another camera, go to the point in time you want to see it, and you actually see them all in sync. So it could be you're following a person down a street with multiple cameras, or through a shopping centre, or like this, we're watching vehicles coming through a checkpoint and we can see them from different angles, see what's happening as well. So really simple ways to see information as well.